Hey, welcome back to Virgo Goddess Intuitions, Garden of Virgo. What is going on? Let's get into this energy, y'all. Yes, I have a message, a loaded message for you today. So come on in. Excuse me, little burpy burp. So today's energy does feel a lot more energetic than yesterday's energy, but it may have a lot to do with this eclipse because let me tell you, well, before we get into all that, welcome all of you returning viewers, my day ones. Mwah, mwah. If there's any new subscribers, if you happen to come across this channel, which will be by no coincidence, because as per usual, your girl is shadow banned, but it's all good. We already know. Anyway, that's even too much time. 111 on the counter. Too much time on that. Anyway, get on in here. All right. So this eclipse revealed it. Okay. I'm just gonna let that marinate while I sip my coffee. 133 on the counter. Okay. So, what did the eclipse reveal? 144. It revealed it, whatever it is to you all. Okay, whoever is getting this message. You know, you may have some heavy Virgo placements. You may be Virgo Sun. You don't necessarily have to be, but the message is what it is. All right, so pull up. All right, now that Waning Gibbous is now in motion, whatever it is that got revealed, now the Waning Gibbous energy is asking you to refine it. Okay, so I may be saying I, but I mean you. But I'll be saying you, just in case I say I. 233 on the counter. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way because it's a lot to cover here. All right, before we do that, let's ring this bell. All right, let's all take a deep breath. Turn down your headphones. Three, 1, 3. Yeah, messages coming in. Called in the proper guidances and protections for this read. So let's begin. Okay, so this Waning Gibbous moon phase is asking that you take whatever the eclipse revealed, that it, and refine it. All right, and why is this so important, Virgo Garden? Because this is the phase. Pull up. Get closer. This right here is the phase that most people, and not just people, us, right? Everyone. 411. Pull up information. 414. This is the part that most people skip. All right. They feel the breakthrough and they rush forward. But today's energy says, slow down, extract the lesson 441, and stabilize the wisdom. And the cards that are clarifying this integration I was gonna say ciao, let me get into it. Okay. But yeah, these cards that I pulled today are very interesting on this energy. So first up, and I'm gonna give you everything. Okay. So first and foremost, we have the Five of Wands. And with the sun at the bottom of the deck and the star at the top of the deck. Why this matters, if you can remember, just keep this in mind because it will be explained later. We also have, followed by the Five of Wands, we have the Ten of Pentacles. And that is with the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck and the Two of Swords at the top of the deck. Followed by both Justice and the King of Swords, with the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck and the King of Cups at the top. So this is refinement, Virgo Garden, at every level. Mental, emotional, relational, financial. Let's break it down, okay? I'm going to take another sip. Let's break it down. So, with this waning gibbous phase, it's giving integration. And before I move forward, there are like 4 key parts that we're going to really be getting into in this reading. The first part will be integration. The second part will be the distillation. And then we'll have the expansion through service. Okay, so those are the key parts of this read that came through with these 4 cards that were pulled. Okay, so with this waning gibbous moon phase, we have this integration. So now there is some shadow, and the shadow is I rush forward. So you may be feeling this burst of energy where you want to rush forward, but the shadow is like, yeah, I rush forward without learning the lesson. And that's probably a lot of how a lot of us thought in the past, right? Or we're coming out of this phase as we have entered this new portal gateway, as well as a lot of this clearing that was done with the eclipse. But the light aspect of this moon phase wants you to integrate before moving on, because wisdom stabilizes you. Okay? So this is how you integrate. You may be learning and or teaching something so that you or someone else gains understanding. Okay, so there's a huge integration that's happening through this entire process that we've been going through. So if this resonates with you, go ahead, hit that like button. But we're going to step into the distillation aspect of this read and what that actually means. So with distillation, you have water or whatever. There's a boiling something down to its purest essence. So it's like when you're distilling something, it's the distillation. When you're boiling something down to its purest essence, it's like a reduction, I guess, in like the cooking world, right? When you're reducing something and you're boiling it down to its purest essence, well, instead of replaying the entire conflict that we have here represented by this Five of Wands, okay, it's like you are to extract the truth. Instead of dramatizing the story, you keep the wisdom. So Virgo energy asks, what was the core lesson? In whatever said conflict, competition, whatever the situation of opposition, whatever this rival energy, okay? Not who was wrong, not who wins, but what stabilizes you now. Okay, that's why this Five of Wands is showing itself through this tension, whatever this scattered energy is, and competition. So this could look like workplace friction, could look like responsibilities are competing with one another. Okay, any type of social conflict environment. Okay, inner conflict and ego clashes. Okay, is how this Five of Wands could be playing out. But again, we have that sun underneath. So there was a certain truth or truth period. Okay, regardless of the perspective, there was truth exposed. And then we have the sun, then we have the star on top, which is giving that healing and alignment or guiding this forward. Okay, so all of this is happening for the truth to be exposed and for there to be some healing and alignment that is helping you and guiding you through whatever was eclipsed out. Okay, and whatever that core lesson is that you are supposed to be receiving, Virgo Garden. Okay, so Distillation says the conflict revealed where you were misaligned. That was the great reveal, or that could have been part of the great reveal. What part were you misaligned in the situation? And this tension was not punishment, but it was illumination. 1233 on the counter. All right, so let's move on because the next following card out was the Ten of Pentacles, right? So we have the Ten of Pentacles here, and we have the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck with the Two Cups at the top. So this is the legacy, family, long-term security, right? But the Eight of Swords underneath shows mental restriction around stability, all right? So beliefs like, if I don't do it, everything falls apart. Could be speaking of this Eight of Swords energy. Security requires sacrifice, right? 1322 on the counter. So this security requires sacrifice energy, or you may be feeling trapped by responsibility. 1333 I just saw. So the Two of Cups on the top of the deck does lend to this aligned partnership being the key. So what's the lesson? True stability is collaborative, okay? Not self-imposed imprisonment, all right? That's what is coming out and what's being revealed through whatever conflict, all right? And then following the Ten of Pentacles, we have the Justice with the King of Swords. And these cards came out, and then with the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck and the King of Cups at the top of the deck. So justice restores balance. All right, so the King of Swords is given that mental clarity and boundaries. The King of Pentacles is giving that grounded structure. So with the King of Cups giving that emotional maturity, this is complete sovereign leadership energy within you. Clear mind, stable foundation, as well as regulated emotions. This is what the integration looks like. All right, so what about the expansion through service part? What does that really mean? Well, let's go deeper. All right, expansion through service does not mean doing more. 1515 I saw on the counter. It doesn't mean fixing everyone. And it doesn't mean carrying extra weight or proving your usefulness. It means serving from alignment, not obligation. All right. Virgo is the archetype of sacred service. So when you put the shadow Virgo, you get the over functions. All right. So expansion through service simply means your contribution grows because it is sustainable. Okay? When you serve from depletion, you shrink. And when you serve from overflow, well, you expand. So this is how this may be playing out in this reading. So if you look at the cards, and you should be able to see them on your screen. All right, but you're not going to see the in-between cards, but you will see the ones that I pulled, not the ones that were on the top and the bottom. Keep that in mind, okay? But with the Five of Wands, you have this conflict from scattered effort, right? And with the Ten of Pentacles, with the Eight of Swords, you have this feeling responsible for everyone's stability. All right, so you may have dealt with conflict from this scattered effort, okay? Or this conflict, somebody was trying to scatter your effort, could very well be part of it as well. And you may just feel overwhelmed, like you're feeling responsible for how everybody is showing up and how stable they're feeling, right? And with the Justice and the King of Swords, there's like this huge boundary correction that's happening. All right, so along with the King of Pentacles that was at the bottom, and the King of Cups that was at the top, you have this balanced provider energy, all right, that's coming through. And this Two of Cups that came out is that reciprocal exchange, right? So this reading shows a shift from I must hold everything together to I contribute where it aligns. So this is you moving from that energy of like having this overwhelming expectation of self, Virgo, of holding everything together, and now you're completely, totally just contributing to where it aligns, okay, with you. And there is a lot of light expansion that comes with this energy that I'm feeling right now. Not so rushed, right? Like it was a lot to get through, I felt like, but yeah, this is slow, right? Slow, steady energy. So expansion through service here does mean that you stop engaging in unnecessary conflict. So that was definitely what was coming through. This Five of Wands is now refined, and you release the beliefs that stability depends solely on you, which came through with the Eight of Swords, which is now dissolved. That self-imposed, like overwhelming energy, thought process, right? So that's being dissolved through you releasing the belief that stability solely depends on you, all right? And of course, that's what the divine and, you know, your spiritual team, your ancestors definitely want you to remember and rely on them more, right? To keep yourself in that alignment, as well as you create fair energetic exchanges with the Justice and the Two of Cups. Okay, so you lead calmly instead of overextending, which is what is really being shown with this King's balanced energy that came out with the King of Swords, King of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. So your expansion comes from strategic effort. It definitely comes from reciprocity, clear boundaries, and emotional regulation. All right, so this is sustainable growth. This is Virgo wisdom. All right, so in practical life, this may look like you delegating instead of micromanaging. Okay, saying, I can help with this part instead of taking on the whole thing. All right, or reorganizing finances instead of stressing about them, or ending a draining debate and choosing peace. Helping one person intentionally instead of 10 resentfully. Somebody is hearing what I'm saying, okay? Choosing collaborative solutions instead of self-sacrifice. So you're not withdrawing your value, you are just refining where it flows, okay? And that's a big one. So let's get into this a little bit. It's like today's Thursday. This is a timeless read, but however, it is all this energy that is coming off of this full moon as we're waning in Virgo. Still a lot of information that could definitely resonate at any time, but Virgo expansion doesn't come from overgiving. All right, it comes from aligning service. Help where you feel energized, not obligated. All right, what you give from overflow returns multiplied. Okay, so I have a little Thursday affirmation for you guys because today is Thursday. And I'm going to say you, and where I say you can say I. Okay, 2222 on the counter. So you extract the lesson and release the chaos. You serve from alignment and not exhaustion. You build stability with balance. And your contribution expands because it is sustainable. All right, so if this message resonated with you, drop a half moon or a full moon emoji in the comments so I know that the Virgo Garden is integrating. And I appreciate you guys for showing up. Share this with someone who needs permission to refine instead of overextend. And Virgo Garden, you don't expand by carrying more. You expand by carrying what is aligned. And that is true power. Until next time, ciao.